If you've been in construction long enough, you know one of the fastest ways to lose money on a project is underestimating rock. Rock excavation can make or break a job. Bid it too high and you lose the project. Bid it too low and suddenly you're stuck with a job that takes twice as long and costs twice as much as you planned. I've seen contractors lose a lot of money that way. I'm Scott Thornberry and I run a construction company called TNC Contracting, and we deal with rock excavation every day. Over the years, we've learned that bidding rock work isn't just about guessing how hard the rock is, it's about understanding the method you're going to use to try to remove it and what that method actually costs you in time, equipment, and risk. A lot of contractors still approach rock that same way. They assume they're going to hammer through it with a breaker or possibly bring in a blasting crew if the project allows it. The problem is that with both of those methods can make production unpredictable. Breakers are slow and they're hard on equipment. If the rock is tougher than expected, production drops and suddenly your numbers don't work anymore. Blasting can remove material quickly, but it comes with its own costs and complications. Permits, safety zones, vibration concerns, and sometimes restrictions depending on where the project is located. That's why when we're bidding rock excavation, the first question we ask ourselves is simple. What is the most efficient way to remove this rock? Because production is everything when you're building your numbers. Let me give you an example. On one of our projects in Louisville, we were dealing with a significant rock excavation. Jobs like that are where experience really matters. You have to look at access, the type of rock, how much material has to be removed, and what equipment is actually going to be the most productive. Another example is a project where we encountered unexpected rock conditions after the job had already started. Those kinds of situations are exactly why contractors have to think carefully about how rock is handled during the bidding process. One of the biggest shifts we made as a company was moving away from relying on hydraulic breakers as our primary solution. For years, we handled rock the way most contractors do. We hammered through it. But over time, we realized there were more efficient tools for certain types of rock excavation. That's when we started using rock cutters. Drum cutters for larger rock removal, chain cutters for trenching applications. Instead of hammering rock and hoping production holds up, we're able to cut it in a controlled, continuous process. That makes production more predictable, which makes bidding more predictable. And when you have predictable production, you can bid jobs with a lot more confidence. Another advantage is that the material produced by cutters can often be reused as backfill. That means less trucking, less imported material, and lower overall project costs. Those kinds of efficiencies can make a big difference when you're trying to stay competitive on bids. And the truth is, a lot of contractors in the United States still aren't familiar with this equipment. These cutters have been used across Europe for almost 40 years, but many contractors here are just starting to discover them. That's actually how Rockhard Solutions got started. We began using cutters in our own construction company, TNC Contracting, and after seeing the productivity improvements firsthand, we started helping other contractors access the same technology. But the most important part of bidding rock excavation comes down to understanding the job. What kind of rock are you dealing with? How much material needs to be removed? What equipment will actually get the job done efficiently? And how predictable is your production rate? Those are questions that determine whether a rock excavation bid makes money or loses money. If you're bidding projects that involve rock and you're looking for ways to make your production more predictable, it might be worth looking at some of the newer cutting technologies that are available today. And the best way to understand what these machines can do isn't just watching a video like this. It's running one on your own job site. That's why we offer a try before you buy option. We'll bring the attachment out, help install it on your excavator, and train your operator so they know exactly how to run it. Run it on your job for a month. Once you see what it can do, I'm confident you'll want to keep it. But if you decide it's not the right fit, no problem. We'll take it back and get it into the hands of the next contractor who's ready to put it to work. If you're bidding rock excavation work and you want to explore ways to make those jobs more predictable and profitable, reach out and let's talk.